Mario Kart World is a breath of fresh air for the series and shows just how important innovation is. Unfortunately, its price tag is also very innovative, coming in at a steep $80 after the industry just ramped up the price of games from $60 to $70. But yeah, Nintendo has really been paving the way lately on being greedy little beady-eyed dickheads like that kid from Recess writing down the best way to squeeze every dollar out of their loyal customers. I'm sorry if that's aggressive, but for a company that primarily caters to children, they are absolutely cooking these kids' piggy banks, and parents aren't going to be able to afford this new standard moving forward. When a kid only gets one game at Christmas for the year, they're gonna look at their parents and say,
"You know, Mom, the least you can do is kiss me first, cause I like to be kissed before I get
and you kinda just have to take it because everything's exclusive and never goes on sale for anything more than like 30% off. At least when they did their first price hike on Tears of the Kingdom to $70, it felt earned. I mean, you could probably drop 1,000 hours into Tears and still find new stuff to do. But now they've implemented a new variable pricing model where essentially the price is supposed to be reflective of the amount of time and effort gone into the game. So in what world is this game not only on the same level as, but apparently even better than Tears of the Kingdom? Short answer is, it's not, and this is just pure greed cashing in on a FOMO bundle to push new system sales. The agenda from Nintendo and Microsoft has become very clear. Sell games at $80 and take whatever sales you can get, but in reality have an ulterior motive. For Microsoft, it's to encourage more Game Pass subscriptions, which will ultimately end up getting its own price hike just like every other subscription service lately. And for Nintendo, it's to overvalue Mario Kart World in the hopes that people will then feel like they have to get a Switch right now as part of the limited time $50 bundle. They even tried to have a whole direct dedicated to justifying the price tag, but all it did was show why it's not even worth $70. This is a very good $60 game through and through. It's so cool that all the tracks are connected and take place in a seamless open world, and driving from track to track while occasionally a bit of a 995 simulator gives you a chance to focus on coins, items, and doing tricks to boost your grind. Plus, Knockout Tour is probably the single best addition to Mario Kart ever, so at $60 this would be a 10 out of 10. But if I'm looking at this through the lens of the next quadruple A game with such massive scale that it warrants $80, then I got some issues. First off, the 24-player racing should probably be reserved for knockout mode only because it's way too chaotic to feel like there's any actual skill involved, and players will purposely be in the middle of the pack for better items, but as the number of players whittles down at each elimination point, it becomes less and less of an issue and more skill-based. I also think intermission should be exclusive to knockout mode because they're only cool when there's no cutscene and you actually get to drive from track to track. That's the best part of knockout mode, is that it's all in one go and actually plays into the vision that Mario Kart World is trying to set up. The Grand Prix should have been kept exactly how it was in previous games with 4 courses and 3 laps. It wasn't broken, so why fix it? All you're doing is alienating the fanbase that you earned from Mario Kart 8. Here, the intermission tracks just feel like a waste of time when you cutscene into it and then have to drive to the course for just 1 lap. It loses that novelty of seamlessly connecting the tracks in an open world, and having 24 players the entire time is more chaotic than a concert at Denny's. My next issue is the battle mode. I feel like they did the bare minimum here compared to games like Monkey Ball and Pokemon Stadium, which had insanely good mini-games and other ways to play with friends outside of the main gameplay loop. It just feels like they slapped it on there because it's a staple of the series, but no one plays it anymore because there really isn't that much to do. Battle mode has had 0 improvements or innovation since the first time it was included. Like, they really thought they were Apple and could keep putting out the same product over and over. Kirby Air Ride was able to do it 20 years ago on a GameCube. Monkey Ball
was able to build this in a cave with a bunch of scraps!
Finally, let's talk about the main selling point, the open world. This mode is fun while waiting for lobbies to fill or if you don't have time for an online match and want to mess around for a bit, but let's be real. With how much they were hyping it up, this shit did not slap. I was hoping for like a Twisted Metal vibe where there would maybe be bosses in the open world and you and other players or NPCs would have to drive around getting items to fight them, or at least some mode that takes place in the open world. Also, P-switches could give better rewards like new skins or vehicles instead of just collecting coins and Yoshi fast food orders to fill out the roster. Or it could have locations on the map where you go in and play a mini game and maybe get a delivery order that you have to drive somewhere and drop off and get a bunch of coins. I mean, shit, they could have even done like a career mode from 2K or Tony Hawk where you get points to upgrade your custom vehicle outside of online play. Speaking of Tony Hawk, I really wish the grinding system here had a little more risk reward to it. Like when you're on a long grind, you should have to balance it for a bigger boost or fall off and crash. This could be a way to spice up intermission tracks because now you're deciding if you want to risk it for the grind or play it safe and do some tricks for a little boost. I also wouldn't mind if tricks had some more risk reward to them, like if you do a trick too close to landing, you crash, but if you can squeeze in 2 different tricks, you get a bigger boost. There's honestly so much they could have done with the open world, and it kind of feels like they came up with the idea for interconnected tracks first, and then we're like, oh shit, actually this makes the game open world, what do we do now? And to be clear, I would not be expecting anything more than what we got if it weren't for them making the game $80 and doubling down on the price being necessary due to the scale. Ultimately, this is a fantastic launch title for the Switch 2 that I have had so much fun exploring. Beautiful, polished, innovative, and if you can get it as part of the $50 bundle, it's beyond worth it. But at $80, Cataquack Stick Juicy Lips can eat my ass.